Hey there, StarCraft fans. It's Paladin coming at ya with yet another edition of StarCraft Brood War Remaster. Today, a very rare Fantasy versus SOMA match here on Neo Sylphid for the Patreon cast of the week. Top side, it's going to be SOMA. He's in the military, but this was played before he left. Apparently, he is playing a lot in the military, but I'm not sure we have access to those replays. Have to ask RJB about that. On the bottom left, who is it? It is Fantasy. Man, he's been around forever. SOMA, a bit of a younger player in the Brood War sphere. Fantasy man, he's been playing for so long. He is an elder statesman at this point, and he is still competing. Still competing against the likes of the youngster SOMA here. So again, this is a Patreon cast for those of you who do support me on patreon.com/FalconPaladin for at least $1 a month. Appreciate you, especially these days where I am unemployed and trying to make a go of being a full-time streamer. Got laid off about 8 or 9 weeks ago. If you're watching this, man, if you're watching this the week of like, oh, I don't know, November the 10th or something, thank you so much for being a patron. And if you're watching this in December of 2024, I certainly hope I have a new job by that time. But if I don't, hopefully the streaming stuff is working very well for me, and I still have my house. How about that? Good. Anyway, yeah, SSL Season 2 finished up. Again, maybe recently for you if you're watching this in November, and maybe not as recently for you if you're watching this in December, but yeah, man, Sulky's a monster, right? He's just like the scariest dude. He's got 3 straight Premier Tournament wins, the last 2 SSLs and the ASLs and the first SSL. I've seen some disagreement as to whether he needs to win another SSL to become a Bonjour, or if he's already at Bonjour status just for his performance over the last 3 high level Premier Tournament tournaments, right? I don't know. Don't rightly know. I did get sponsored by Pulsit. I don't know if I still am by the time most of you guys are going to watch this, but if you want to answer whether you think Sulky is a Bonjour or not, you can go to the link in the description, take you right to my profile on Pulsit, which is a new free social media site just about polling. Just kind of a fun and easy place to hang out, answer polls. You can leave comments if you want to. You don't have to. But yeah, if you sign up for Pulsit, it actually gives Falcon a bit of a kickback from the advertiser. So if you want to do that, great. If you don't worry about it. But it's an easy way to do. You can sign up with your Google account or with an email address. Very easy peasy. All right, what do we got, man? We got ourselves an SCV harassing a little bit. It was hatched first into pool, into gas. No scouting at all here from SOMA. And it's a 1-Rax expand. No gas yet. No early anything whatsoever here from the Terran player, Fantasy. He's going to hardwall his front, though, which he really didn't need to do because this pool is not even done yet. But, hey, you know what? Better safe than sorry. Overlord sees this, too. So, I mean, someone's not even going to make, enough lings maybe to deal with a couple of Marines that might come across the map. Something that Sharp has been doing, as well as Royal recently, is just you make a couple of Marines with your first barracks like this, and then you just send them across the map with an SCV. And, like, start building a bunker. And, like, force the Zerg player to respond to it. They hate it. They don't want to have to respond to a bunker. And it's not a crazy all-in from you either, right? Because you have an expansion, right? You're getting your gas. Everything's fine back here. No big deal. But we'll see. We'll see if that's something Fantasy wants to do. Maybe he wants to wait for a couple more Marines before he starts pushing out here. I don't know. Don't rightly know. Quick lair, obviously. We're going to get mutas in this game. SOMA was raised in a world where there was nothing but 2-base mutalisk openings in StarCraft. Good times. That's all he knows. Switch up the meta, man. Give us Hydra openings, Hydra busts in this matchup. Hydra lurker busts. They're fun. Gotta mix it up, dude. Ooh, it is a quick factory, though. With an academy. Without a second Rax either. What are we doing, Fantasy? This could just be straight up Marine tank based on the timing of that factory. Not getting a second gas yet. Oh, is this an armory into Valkyrie, though? Valkyries are getting more and more popular in this matchup. Dude, I want to say Sharp made Valkyries in 4 of the 5 games against Sulky. Does that sound right? Maybe 5 out of 5. Like, he really tried to make those Valkyries work. He lost a bunch of them to dumb stuff, too, though. Like, you know, his entire strategy would hinge on having a Valkyrie, and then a couple Scourge would fly into it, and it would die. And you'd be like, Sharp, buddy, come on. Anyway, look, a starport. Neat. Saw that coming. Armory? Armory. Neat. Okay, so it is the Valkyries here in this Patreon cast. Wonderful. So that mixes it up, right? It's going to be Mutas, but Valkyries add a new element and a new... What's the word do I want to say this? New angle to this matchup where we're kind of used to seeing Mutalisks trying to kill Marines and trying to kill turrets. But trying to deal with Valkyries is much different and much more difficult for the Zerg player. Overlord poking down this way to see if anything's coming down this way, like a drop or something. Drops pretty good in this matchup too. We saw Sharp implement drops to a pretty high success rate in that SSL finals. Oh, why did a medic get separated from the group and get picked off? Ridiculous. How? How did you end up down there, medic? Probably not your fault, though. All right. Armory done. Control tower done. Valkyrie prepared. Yes, you could start it now, even. You have the resources. There we go. All right. Valkyrie on the way. Muta's showing up. This is going to be super annoying to deal with until Valkyrie pops out, and then we will see how Soma responds as he gets to third base. Over here. So 3 o'clock third base from our guy Soma. That is strange. Getting some Scourge. Right, that's preparing for a Valkyrie. That's what that Scourge is. Nice pick off at a couple SCVs. This is okay. This is not the end of the world. It's not great, but you can weather this storm fantasy. Gets a scan off. Sees the main base. Sees no quick hive or anything. No Queen's Nest, so that's good to know. Carapace is getting research. We're getting a +1 ship weapons here, too, out of fantasy. Big fan. There's the Valkyrie. And, dude, the Muta's just getting some... Ow, taking a lot of free damage there. One Muta goes down, and look how bruised up these guys are. Huge. Massive, massive hits there from the Valkyrie. Loving that. Problem is, Fantasy's kind of stuck at home at the moment. But he really did hurt those Mutas. I kind of feel like you could move out. Yeah, so he's lifting the racks, and he's like, you know what? You're right, Falcon. I probably can move out here if those Mutas are that injured, and they are. Hydralisk Den is coming down, and yeah, he's still working on the Flyer Carapace upgrade. Because it's still good for Scourge to have it in this matchup when you're trying to take down science vessels and Marines are trying to shoot you down, and having Carapace gives you like an extra half a second before you die. And maybe you can take down a science vessel. Ooh, good scan on that Hydra Den too. Sees the timing on that and says, yeah, these Mutas, 2 Valkyries means you get the crap out of there. And then the Marines try to finish them off. They get another one. Beautiful positioning there from Fantasy. All right. That was great out of Fantasy. He's like, hey, I can still play. Stop calling me old. You are correct, Fantasy. You can still play. I should see how old this man is real fast. So the third base is going to be a problem. Scourge got both of the Valkyries, though, but so many Mutas died, and the remaining ones are this. Oh, and then Fantasy decides just to go home. He's like, those Valkyries were key to everything that I wanted to do. Ooh, good snipe there on a couple of those Mutas, though. Let's guess how old Fantasy is. Liquipedia says the man is 33 years old. He's not an old man. He's just not. But I mean, I don't know. Oh, okay. Free Muta's there, though. Okay, now I need to double check how old Soma is. If he's like the young guy, right? Google says, oh, you're looking for Soma stores near you? And I'm like, no, I don't. What? What the heck is a Soma store? He's 29. All right, this is stupid. I take all of that back. Fantasy, he's just been around so much longer than Soma, though. Maybe Soma was a bit of a late comer to this whole thing. Oh, that tank dying is big. Okay, those Marines are dead. The tank is dead. This other tank's probably dead as well. Run! Run, Siege Tank. There's not a bunker to fall back to. Ah, Fantasy. Those were so big. Dude, the Valkyrie count is getting a little bit intimidating. But guess what Valkyries can't do? They can't kill Lings. They can't even hurt the Lings. Even the teeniest or tiniest of bits. As they get in this mineral line, a lot of SCVs are dying. They have to get evac'd out of there. This one Siege Tank shows up. At least this one's protected by Marines, and the Lings are going to get cleaned out. But not a good time, I would say. Still scanning, sees the hive coming in. Yeah, so look, congratulations. You built a lot of Valkyries, but your Zerg opponent's getting into Hydralisks and Dark Swarm. And there's probably a Defiler round coming soon, obviously, because of the Dark Swarm idea. And these Valkyries are not going to be very good. Like, I'm not even sure. All that there's left for you to kill, I think, are Overlords. Oh, no, there's a Muta left. There's one Mutalisk with 47 hit points. And the engineering bay scouted where that was. So the Valkyries get dispatched to deal with these shenaniganry. What are you coming down here for? Are you going to get dropped? Is there an Overlord? Did we get Ventral Sacks? No. Oh, they're just swinging back up through this lane to get up and siege up the front door. Oh, so both players get in their fronts. Sieged. Jumping in is Soma. Siege tank getting some hits off. Friendly fire tank splash not good. Just burrowing these lurkers right in. There's a scan. There's a bunker. The Valkyries are like trying to find Overlords. The siege tanks are firing up at the natural base there too. The tank got wiped out by those lurkers. The SCV block is great right there. This siege tank. Okay, fight him. Fight him, siege tank. Marine, extra DPS. Good stim. Fantastic. Lurker picked off. This lurker sits at the front door trying to get something done. Okay, something happened here. Too much going on for me to keep track of everything. Right, so these guys are here. These guys burrow on in. 4 kills on that lurker. The siege tank dies to lurker spines, but does take a lurker with him. Explodes terribly. Okay, Valkyries come in, wipe out a couple Overlords. Yeah, supply block Soma. Get them to the top right here. More Overlords to kill. And then jumping down on top of this, like 6 lurkers. Yo, okay, that's what happened. Somehow the siege tank survived this whole thing? No way. No, definitely did not. The siege tank died. Everybody ran. These Overlords are getting destroyed. The supply block is real. Dude. Okay. The Scourge come in to try to get revenge. They're going to be able to kill maybe one of the Valkyries. That wasn't particularly great. But, dude, Soma is supply blocked into next week. Another Valkyrie goes down. Not good at picking off Scourge, especially if there's only one of you. Soma says, I gotta put some pressure on the Terran player. He's only on 2 bases. This is looking okay. I can do this. It's getting +2 Flyer Carapace. He is. Because of all the Valkyries. And +1 got researched. We saw that, right? So you can survive a little bit longer against this if you have +2 Carapace than if you have +1. Also, Soma does try to lurker bust the front. Gets the siege tank. The lurkers get in position where they can't be hit by the bunker. Another siege tank shows up and sieges up. Scourge do not take down one of these Valkyries. There's one dead, though. Definitely one dead there. 77 to 58 supply. Scrap-tastic City. Another Valkyrie dies. I know it's hard to micro Valkyries against Scourge. I understand that. That's part of the reason they're not incredibly common in this matchup. Just more common than they've been in a long time because, well, the remaster fixed them, to long story short it. Okay, but man, this another supply block possibly. These Valkyries could be hunting more. Where are the Hydras? And why are there no Hydras on the map? Like every Hydra that's been produced today. Ooh, that's just a... Oh, it did get a Valkyrie. I thought that rally was going to kill that Scourge. Every Hydra he's made, he's turned into a lurker, and I feel like 2 Hydras? Okay, the Scourge connections on these Valkyries are getting embarrassing. Like, and again, I know it's not easy to avoid a Scourge hit when you're a Valkyrie, but... All right. You gotta try. You gotta try sometimes. Wow. So 53 to 44 total workers. This third base is a absolute blessing for our guy Soma here. Getting a 4th base up the right side. Minerals only there. We got ourselves finally getting pneumatized Carapace. It's been a while, I feel like, since we could have started that because with all the hunting that was going on, but Soma was distracted by something else. 99 to 72 supply in favor of Fantasy. 3rd CC on the way inside the main base. More factories coming in. Definitely meching it. Definitely meching it from here. And more mutas on the way. Oh, that could be disastrous. That could be disastrous for Fantasy here. All his Valkyries are dead. The most anti-air he has here are 11 Marines with no attack upgrades or armor upgrades. With mutas, against mutas with +2 Flyer Carapace. And then a bunch of like tanks and vultures and stuff. Ah, but the vultures do get into the main base. A lot of drones are going to die here. That's terrible. These guys are looking, they're just going to fight them. They're not even waiting for the +2. These guys don't have attack upgrades. The Marines do not. Oh, he's like, maybe I should stack a little bit, though. Ugh. Maybe I should have waited for the +2 Carapace a little bit longer. 2 kills on that Vulture. Worker count is 36. 36 workers for Soma here at 15 minutes. Third base is landed. Some SCVs transferring down to it. Scourge scout this out. Muta's going to try to shut this thing down too. Not many of them, but what is there to deal with them right now, right? Right. Oh, just kidding. Like 3 more Valkyries got made. Why would we assume they're not going to be more Valkyries? Okay, so yes, you have +2 Carapace. Well done, Mutalisk brethren. You survive a little bit better against Valkyrie rockets now. Very, very good, honestly. Woo! This is a mech transition here from Fantasy. Dude's getting Charon boost. I mean, yeah, it's siege tanks, it's Goliaths, it's Valkyries, it's Mutas, and it's Hydras for the most part here. A Defiler Mound would be awesome. The Hive has been done for like 10 minutes. Where is your Defiler Mound? Man does not believe in Defiler Mounds this game. Soma, do you think you do not need them? Fourth base coming up left side from Fantasy. Loving that from him. Muta is clearing out Spider Mines. I mean, I don't know if there's a better unit in the Zerg arsenal to do that. Except maybe Hydras, because they do outrange the Spider Mines pretty effectively when they have that range upgrade. So that would be nice. Science Facility coming in. Suicide Vultures. Yeah, one of them made it out. He's going to die too, though. But yeah, drones getting massacred. 48 workers for the Zerg player at 16 minutes is not a great number. You really want to be creeping up on 60 by this point in the game, but it's been such a back-and-forth slugfest, I get that he hasn't. We're getting +3 flyer. We are getting a +3 flyer Carapace in a TVZ, folks. That doesn't happen. That really does not happen very often at all. This is a weird game. I like it. I like non-standard weird games. Queens are coming in. Man, we did actually see Soul Key use Queens in the SSL Season 2 finals, didn't we? Against a mech attempt by Sharp. That's exactly what we're talking about here. Man, alright, so the Muse come in, the Scourge try to get connections, and they take down one of the Valks, but 3 Valks remaining is pretty good. Gotta get chased out of there with a Valkyrie count of this number and magnitude. No additional upgrades on those Valkyries. But a 5th base coming in the bottom right here from Soma. Love the macro hatch count, by the way. 3 total macro hatches inside the main base. A macro hatch at the 4th. It's great. Irradiate's coming in at 17 minutes. That's how weird of a TVZ this has been. Spawn Broodling research would be nice. I mean, you do want to make a bunch of Queens first because it takes forever to get 150 energy. You kind of want to time it to where Spawn Broodling is done when they have 150 energy ready to go. So I imagine it'll start here pretty soon, though. Ventral Sax is now on the way. I thought it might have been coming in sooner, but nope. Yeah, Hydras trade against Vultures really well. They're just pretty bad against the tanks, which is what Spawn Broodling is for, right? You Spawn Broodling the tanks, and then the Hydras trade extremely well against the Goliaths and the Vultures. Mutas and Scourges trying to maybe keep a contained situation here. Aw, losing those Hydras was unnecessary. Really didn't need to do that. Very sad, man. Nidus Canal on the way. Going to connect this 5th base to the natural, probably? Nope, the 3rd instead. Fair enough. There's the Spawn Broodling upgrade coming in. It doesn't take that long to produce. And our Queen Ball is over here, out of harm's way. Yeah, so I mean, the most any of them have is about 115. 150 is what you need. I don't like this engagement for Soma all that much. He's trying. He really wants the Valkyries to die. They did get another one of them. If the Valkyries are dead, the Queens have a much better time of this whole thing. Vulture drop inside the main base. 1, 2, 3 more, 5 more drones go down. 52 to 54 workers. Soma's been macroing his face off, trying to get that worker count up, and then the Vultures come in. It's another hit. It's not the end of the world, but it's also not ideal. Okay, so the vultures get wiped out. Mutas can do some jobs protecting that too. This game is honestly incredible. I am having so much fun casting this one. A couple Sunkens are coming in. I don't like this position from Hydras at all. Those siege tanks are going to be impossible to engage with. But Hydra's on top of the Guardians. We're getting Gamete Meiosis, which is the upgrade for Queens to give them 250 available energy. And here we go. Looks like we're setting up for a drop inside the main base. Oh, I like that. There's not a lot going on inside the main. There are 2 turrets. Actually, 3 turrets in the inside the entire main. Yeah, Mutas come in, absorb some of the early hits, but +3 Carapace Overlords are actually kind of tanky against turret shots. So there's the unload. Irradiate goes down on the Mutas. First Irradiate of the day here at 20 minutes. It's been a very weird game for sure. Siege tanks show up, try to siege up, deal with these Hydralisks as you want to do. Queen's a little bit late to the party. I feel like the Queens could have been here throwing Spawn Broodling down. There you go. 2 tanks out. Maybe 3 tanks out there. Hydra still just kind of indiscriminately firing away inside the main base of Fantasy. Okay, Vulture down. Another Spawn Broodling. Another Spawn Broodling. No more tanks, but Irradiate's going down on your Queens is so bad. They will die to a single Irradiate, plus Valkyries and Queens and Goliaths can kill your Queens as well. So this does get cleared out. A lot of supply depots died. The available supply is only 144 for Fantasy at this stage. We've got another attempt at Vulture droppage here inside the main base of Soma, and he stopped running, so that dropship is dead. Not the greatest maneuver from Fantasy whatsoever. Yeah, Queen just flies over a bunch of +2 Goliaths and +1 Valkyries. That goes about as for it as you would think it does. Hydra is just kind of running into siege tanks. Guys, can we talk about this? Why are you just running into siege tanks? Oh, my Queens died. Right, you're not microing them well. Come on, Soma. You gotta micro your Queens better than that. They need to stay alive. It's like microing your science vessels. Get them in there, cast a spell, get them out. Don't have them hang around so they can get irradiated or sniped by Valkyries or anything. This was a little too cavalier with these Queens. Got deep into the base. Yes, sniping a Queen back or a tank back here is great. But then just kind of hung out here, caught an irradiate, and that's an instant death sentence for you. So just got to do a better job with it. There should be more Queens here than there are, is my point. And if you'd done a better job keeping the Queens alive, there'd be like 6 tanks killed here instead of the 1. I mean, that Goliath in that position wasn't something that I think Soma was aware of, so I can't really kill him for losing that Queen, but dude, where are the Queens? I think they've all died. There's 1 here. Maybe 2. Okay, never mind. There's a whole bunch up here. But I think these are new. I don't think any of these have kills, right? These are not... Okay, a couple of them do. But most of those are not Queens that participated in the great drop inside the main base of Fantasies a while ago. Definitely not. Queen's gonna come in. Where are you, Queenies? Fantasy's moving in. There's 1. There's 1 Spawn Broodling. They've gotta come from over here. They are. So we grab the ones that have the energy to go. These guys are all very close, though. We round to it. Okay. Almost took a hit from that spider mine. Very dangerous indeed. So yeah, the idea is you clear out the tanks, and then the Hydras deal with everything else. Tanks have sieged up. Hydras fall back a little bit. 1 Spawn Broodling is good. Why are you dancing, guys? Come on in. The Queens are kind of getting shoved away by the Goliaths in this group. Queens go for it, though. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 tanks down and an immediate pullback. Well microed. And even coming from the right side a little bit with some Queens, too. Hydra's good. Hydras, save the Queens. Save them. Okay, that one's going to die, but she did take a Queen with her. Or a tank with her. I keep mixing up queens and tanks in this game for some reason. I don't know what's going on. So a hatch dies. Fantasy's push is still continuing. It is running out of steam, though. The tank count has been reduced by a lot. I don't know about leaving these queens over here. Plus, all these queens are ready to go. All these queens have enough energy for a spawn broodling. Come on. Okay, well, at least we're doing something. 1, 2, 1 caught in a radiate. The other 2 stayed alive. That's good ratio. That is a fine ratio here, Soma. Nice job. And that is going to force Fantasy to fall back a little bit. He doesn't like what he's seeing. And you can actually kill a bunch of these Hydralisks that are kind of hanging out in the middle of the map. Uh-oh. Can you, though, with the spawn broodling connections on some of the Goliaths catching them as well? That queen makes it out of there with 23 hit points. Hydra's coming in. That's not a sieged up siege tank. The Hydralisks do have +2 attack, +1 armor. I wish they had better upgrades, really, because it is 3-3 here for the mech. Spider Mines being laid on top of the Hydras. More Hydras coming from the south. This army's getting crushed. And that's a GG. Yeah, swinging in more Hydras all along the top side, and bam! Soma gets the win against Fantasy with the mech transition with the queens. And yeah, a lot of it comes down to micro, right? A lot of it comes down to, can you come in, snappily get off a spawn broodling, and get out of there? Because there's no benefit to you hanging out. You're going to catch an irradiate. You're going to get shot in the face by Goliaths. A million bad things will happen to you if you stick around against a mech player like that. And Soma did okay with it. Sometimes it was bad. Sometimes it was better. But I mean, is it too much to expect that it be perfect? Maybe. Maybe it is too much to expect. I don't know. But that was a GG. I mean, come on. That's exactly what we want to see from our dudes here, Soma, against a meching Terran player. It can be really hard to deal with. He was patient, right? He allowed this base to die. He'd expanded a bunch before that. He brought queens in from weird angles, top side, right side. Used the Hydras as he could. Again, I'd love to have them with better upgrades, but I guess +3 kicked in here fairly recently. And then, yeah, just crushing that main army, just it's so much slower to remax when you're meching than if you are going for an SK Terran. And that's part of the reason a lot of the Terrans like to go for SK Terran, right? So, yeah, this group coming up here, that base was dead. The tank count was not very high anywhere, really. And Soma gets the win with the queens. It can be done. 208,000 points at 176. Outproducing the Terran player by about 200 units and getting out-killed by only about 50. So, I mean, the numbers looking good there, too, for Soma. Total spent 60,000 to 47,000. The outspend was good enough. The mech is cost-efficient, but not enough in that situation. Queens did a great job, and that's it. That's going to be it. So, thanks again to Pulsit for sponsoring this cast. Probably. Check them out. Link in the description. And that's going to be it for me. So, this has been Falcon Paladin coming at you with yet another edition of StarCraft Brood War Remastered. Go ahead, hit that like button, hit that subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter, Facebook, Patreon, Twitch, Instagram, and TikTok, all at /Falcon Paladin. If you're one of those Gen Z kids, I am on the talk these days. Do they call it the talk? They probably don't. But yeah, that's going to be it for me today. So thanks again for watching, and until next time, as always, you take care of yourself.